Okay, right. Hey, we had last weekend off because I was just finishing off the bathroom so the tilers could get in their last room of this house. So, got to keep Mumsy happy and keep that rolling. So, it meant that we were another week later to get out of here and do some stuff that I actually wanted to do. But in the meantime, some other stuff turned up while we were waiting. The inch miter rails that are going to get dadoed in, rebaited in, whatever you want to say, rebaited into the top, so the miter extension can slide through the table saw and then onto the bench to give us a clean run out for that. And also for the router plate, we're going to have one running parallel with it, and then the back fence has got two coming off it for its high side. So the other thing that arrived from Carbotech to keep us busy was the inverted pattern bit cutter. So now we can work from the top, and in that case we're cutting the positive rather than the negative for this. So that's cool. We're going to make a jig. We're going to put it on, and we're not going to fuck it up, people, because if we do, then this thing's dog tucker. Burn it. Yeah, so we're gonna make the jig for it. I'm thinking MDF. We've got some 12mm MDF here. Keep it nice and smooth to really hit the details with those radiuses. I've evened that up in between the dogs here, so squared it up ish. Yeah. I had some reference marks there, so I know I'm in and in. And then, right, that comes off. Now what we want to do is transfer these to the underside so we can put some backing material in. Just some scrap of the ply, wider than this, but it won't be too much wider. I reckon maybe, what, 40mm. We'll glue that in tonight, and then when we drop the inverted pattern bit cutter in, we will only be cutting out, what, 18mm, well, not even 15mm of that stock around the outside, which will give a ledge for the router plate to sit on, and then we'll hog out the middle. Easy. This, because it's only 10mm, is only going to leave a ribbon of plywood inside, so that's why we're putting in the backing plate. We're also going to put the backing plate in for the track miter guide inserts, etc. But I think for a start, let's make the template for this, because that's the most fun bit, and yeah, I want to do that. I'm going to use a combination of the HiKOKI drop saw and the new jigsaw. Oh, I love that thing. We'll get these radiuses bang on. It's pretty close, actually. It's pretty close. We'll get that summed up. Then drop that on. I think what we're going to have to do is slightly offset the pattern, or our jig, because of the depth of the cutter. So now, obviously, our bearings on the top, we're running around the pattern from above, but we're going to need to not drop through the whole way of the stock. So I'm going to have to do some maths. That'll hurt, but we'll get there. This is definitely a... make sure it's right before you plunge in, because otherwise, trouble. Let me get set up, and we'll jump back to that. There's heaps to do this weekend. It's already well into Saturday, so let's get going. Okay, I got slightly carried away there, and just started getting into it. So what I have done, we marked that out, didn't we? There's our template. I've cut it smaller so we've got some sort of surface to run the router around. That's looking a little bit loose up in that corner. We'll see how that goes. bang, bang, got all my square cuts like that. Now, just get this last one and then we'll see. See what a mess it is or not. This pilot's just take it out of the back, blow it out. Right. Awesome. Okay. Right. Right, I can already see that we're slightly that's not a bad thing. That was pretty mince. Okay, cool. We can work with that. I am just gonna tickle up these corners, possibly with a bit of sandpaper, and then this thing should be good to go. Cool. Okay. Whoa. It's fairly cold out there. It is 11 o'clock in the morning. What are we, like 13th of June or something? But anyway, 11 o'clock in the morning. It's minus 4.2 still outside at mine in Arrowtown. So brisk. Took a wee while to get going this morning. Hey, so we're going to want to cut out now for the router plate, hey? So we're going to want to do that really accurately. Got that set out. I'm going to mark it here. So got the HiKOKI chainsaw. We're just going to rip into it here. Drop that router straight in there, eh? Oh, nah, funny guy. Of course we're not. We're going to take our time. Yeah. First of all, we're going to need the backing plates in there, eh? So I'm going to go ahead and mark those in here where we need them. Glue those in. Leave that. So we'll work on the underside today. We might be able to get the guide rails in for the pipes. I sort of checked those out after we'd cut them last night, and to be fair, I'm not that happy with them. I reckon we can get them just a little bit tighter. That hole saw, there's just a little bit of would have been better if I could have done it with my drill press over there, but that drill press has only got a 10mm chuck in it, so doing it with the hole saw just kind of mucking around. So anyway, that sounds like my dog. Hey look, I'm just going to go ahead and mark this out. Then we'll have a quick look at that. We're also going to index it for the key lock system for them both to go together. Okay, I'll get set up and we'll get into it. Cool. Okay, so transferred everything to the underside. I reckon now we can have a bit of a glue up. What have we got here? That is 180. So I'll cut one of those. Oh man, that's cold glue. Park that down in there. Okay, so I just don't want these pins. I've just got little 25mm pins in there. I don't want them to penetrate that top surface because that would be rookie. So if we just give it a spread, that's going to keep them, so I can pull them out later on when we come to route, and just so they're not sinking. Don't shoot your rule, it is. There we go, good. And look at that, still -4 outside, and not a problem, eh? Gotta leave the gas behind. Glue doesn't like it though. Oh. These 16 gauge pins are awesome, eh? Like, I just buy them from Mitre 10 for what, like $11 for a box of 1,000. Super good value, and for a situation like this, with our sacrificial anyway, awesome. That gun just keeps on paying for itself. Sweet, we'll just let that glue up, and that's good. Okay, Friday afternoon. Bearsies. Too deep. Hey, I want to start cutting out the router template for the router insert. I have left the HiKOKI precision drop saw on site today, which is unfortunate, and it is the weekend, but that's alright. So I'm probably going to use this little track saw jig setup that we kind of make with. We made one ages ago when we first got the new HiKOKI, not this saw but his smaller brother. Then we were given this guy, which is the C360 7DA weapon. I love this thing just because it's got a bit more chunk, and it's just, the other one's just a beautiful tool, great sort of build quality, but this one's just got like a little bit more heft to it, you know. So no more cutting depth or anything, but which is surprising because the other one's a little bit, it feels smaller in the hand, and it's just, like I say, it's a beautiful tool, but this one's just got more heft to it. So this is the one that sort of lives in my truck all the time. But with these jigs, I'm sure you've probably made one before yourself, but real super simple track saw. I glued these up last night, just MDF here, whatever you want. You could use 9mm, whatever. This is super flimsy, but that's alright. One strip, I glued and pinned this overnight. The only thing you have to make sure of is that this is square or straight on this piece of timber, because once that saw cuts it, it's going to index it anyway, isn't it? So easy. So we've got that. Doesn't matter about this edge because the saw's going to deal to that in a minute. As long as this is straight and glued. I ripped the pins out. Here we go. So we'll just put that in there. Saw. This cut will go through, and then after that, every time this lays on something, well, it's a track saw, isn't it? That's super simple, except this is the the Mangere version of of some flashing gear. Don't get it wet, and it's sweet. Okay, let's index it. Cool. Now, every time we lay this here, bam, track cutty. So, I'm going to make another one here. So this one here is just a 2-4 to rip up some sheets, and then on this guy here, I'm going to make a 1400 and whatever the sum of that is, 800 or something like that, or 600, just so we've got a couple of smaller ones so we can start to cut out this template and then get the router on it, and then we're on the home stretch now. So yeah, let's index one more, and then we'll cross cut them. Struggling. It is Friday and I have had 2 beers. Cool. That C360 will just do that all day, you know, and I used to have a big problem with battery gear and just that anxiety of only having battery gear in the truck rather than a corded skill saw if you're doing rafters or something like that. But this thing, all day, it's just an epic saw. I love it. Great build. Look at it. My dog. Cool, so now we're going to cut this one up, like I said, 1400 for some cross cuts and an 800 just for bits and pieces, and then oh yeah, Mangere Bridge track saw. Awesome. Okay, so we have our 9mm MDF. This is going to be the router template. Here is the Mangere Bridge track saw that we just built, so we can get this thing done this weekend without having to go back to site and pick up the drop saw. So let's drop that on our point like that. Turn it on. And that should just drop a waddy straight in there. Yeah, booyah. Okay. We don't obviously want to overcut the radius. We'll come back and get that with the jigsaw. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Get this thing done, yeah? Man. Okay, sweet. I'll just go hoon these out, and then 3 more, then we'll get locked on with that new jigsaw. Yow. Okay, bang, new guy on the block. So we are using some super clean cut 1.4mm blades here, brand new. Yes, super clean cut, radius cut. Let's get this zapped out, all four, and then this thing's ready to go. Sweet. Maybe a little bit more speed actually. Okay. Okay. We are. Well, we're close, peeps. We're close. We're not perfect, but we're close. So, a little sandy. Wrap some sandpaper around this block, take off these, and we'll drop that in, and then this thing should be good to go. Cool. That jigsaw's awesome. Okay. Top. Slight discrepancy up the top. That's not bad. No, it's not bad. It's not bad. Okay, I think we'll live with that. So, that's how we're going to be a finished product. Might just put one piece of super coarse in here. There. We'll just see how that rolls. Hey, look, not bad. So that's gonna pull out. Okay, that should be cool. So what we're gonna want now is a spacer for the router to run through first and hog out the big section. So we're going to want to come back in 20. Should we start with 20? We'll start with 20. We'll see how that goes. So obviously this will lay on our other guy out there where he wants to be, somewhere like that. We will fix him down, clamped up. Then we'll put our 20mm packer in, hog out with the router so that whole section drops. Then we'll take away our 20mm packer, and then that will create our insert. Boom. Okay, let's get set up for that. But to be fair, it's Friday night, and I think that's probably enough. Hey. Sweet. I'll catch you back in the morning, and we can do what we do. Sweet. Hey, also, I just wanted to go over this. It wasn't filming. The battery had gone flat in the camera. We set the router plate in. Unfortunately, we didn't get that on camera, which is unfortunate. But there we go. That's the idea. So that's that material we put in underneath to give it a bit of backing there, and then just honed out the middle. I'll tidy that up with a bit of sandpaper, but otherwise it's pretty good. Yeah, the router insert, that went pretty good, really, to be fair. I ended up actually making it out of this template here, out of MDF. I had a couple of goes at this, you can see. I just really wasn't happy with how it was coming out, so I ended up doing the straight lines with a router. So basically I got the actually, here is one that wasn't quite as good. I just sandwiched it around with another layer of custom of MDF, and then I honed out the straight lines with the router and the pattern cutter. So I got nice straight lines. This one wasn't so good. You can kind of just see I tried to cut this one with a hole saw for the radiuses, but it just, I sort of thought it was going to show up a little bit too much, and you really want that to be quite a feature, don't you? Everyone's going to be looking at that. So it's a little scooch under flush, but that's good because we can level it out with our self-leveling screws, and yeah, all good, all good.